Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Sam Kwok here, one of the Kwok Brothers, and welcome back to your next EIDL Loan and EIDL Grant update. Today's January 12th, and I have some latest information and development for you guys, including can you apply for EIDL second time? Can you get the EIDL twice? What is the expected date as far as when the EIDL Grant application will open? I have all that answers and more right here in this video. All right, everybody, so just as I mentioned, I have some latest updates as far as what's happening to the EIDL grant and the EIDL loan. This is the free up to $10,000 grant as part of the COVID disaster relief loan, economic injury disaster loan. Now, I got my tablet pulled up once again. It's really handy, by the way. You guys should get one of these. So the new date right now for the EIDL grant for reopening. So if you go to the SBA site right now, today's the 12th, it won't mention anything about the EIDL grant. In fact, the website's going to go and say that there's no longer the EIDL grant available, which is, of course, we know that's not true because Congress just passed another $25 billion for the EIDL grant. So what's going to happen is January 17, 2021, I got my notes here, you guys can see all the notes. January 17, 2021 is the day that they're going to open the EIDL grant, which means there might be a rush of people going and applying. So I'm going to give you some instructions and tips as to what to do when you apply. In fact, when SBA reopens, I'm going to go in and I will apply and show you the step-by-step on how to apply properly. Again, I just want to remind you guys that I am not an SBA employee. I don't represent the SBA. I'm not an attorney. I'm not an accountant. I'm just a business owner like you guys, a YouTuber, basically giving you my perspective and interpretation as to what's happening. So January 17th, mark your calendars, put your reminders up, okay? Take your phone right now, put a reminder saying, hey, January 17th, if you are looking for the EIDL grant. Now, the next question is, can you get the EIDL grant twice? Now, as far as we know, the answer is no. But if you did not get the grant the first time, if you applied last year or earlier part of this year, you applied, but you didn't get the grant, you can qualify and be eligible to receive the grant if you didn't get the grant the first time. So you can go and apply again if you'd like. But one thing about applying again is if you got declined, if you were declined for the EIDL loan, which, by the way, you can still be declined and get the grant. The grant and the EIDL loan, kind of two separate things, but they are part of the same application, which is interesting. But if you get declined with the EIDL loan, you can still get the grant. You get to keep it. It is yours. Use it how you like. I hope you guys use it to invest, right? Invest in yourself and invest in your business. Very, very important. But if you are declined for the EIDL loan, there is a specific step on how to reapply in a way that don't messes you up, okay? So if you did not get the grant, so back to the grant, you cannot get the grant twice. So if you already got your $5,000, $10,000, $8,000 grant, you can't get it twice. But if you didn't get up to $10,000, let's say you only got $1,000 or $2,000, if you didn't get the full $10,000 EIDL grant, then you may be eligible to receive more up to $10,000. So let's say you have an update on your employees. Maybe you hired more people in 2020, such as my office. My office, we actually ended up hiring like 6 more people. We grew like crazy, which is awesome. So we would technically qualify for $6,000 more for the EIDL grant because we already got paid $2,000 for the EIDL grant last year back in March when we first applied. So with that being said, if you did not get the full $10,000, yes, you can still be eligible to receive up to $10,000 for the EIDL grant. Back to the, sorry if I'm a little disorganized, this is how I just wrote my notes. But if you got declined, you have up to 6 months. Within 6 months of getting declined, you can be reconsidered. You can apply for a reconsideration. Now, if you want to reapply, you do not need to do any. You do not have to apply for it again. So no need for a new application, but what you will need is your previous application number. I hope you guys have that. If you don't, it'd be very hard for you to be reconsidered. So if you were declined for the EIDL loan, not the grant, EIDL loan, then you could be considered reconsidered for the loan. And that has to be done within 6 months of being declined. After the 6 months, I believe you have to start a new application and you'll have to go through that whole process again. So that is the latest update for the grant portion, when it's open, when we are expected to see the applications coming. Again, January 17th is the date. I hope that this is some of the answers I can give you. A couple of things I didn't wrote down in this note is, can you get an increase on your EIDL loan? And the answer is yes. You can submit for an increase. In fact, I'm going to show you a guide from the SBA pretty soon here. In fact, let's go and do that right now. Let me go and switch my tablet over. Let me go to here. There we go. So this is the SBA FAQ. Now this is outdated, but I changed some of the numbers to make sure it's up to date with the new COVID relief package that was passed a couple weeks ago. But this guide right here, I'll put in a link down below. Just know that it's outdated. We are expecting the SBA to release a new guide, and if they do, I'll go and update the link down below so that you're not downloading something old. So this guide, and actually let me flip this over that way so it's easier to edit and record. So right here, right now, Paycheck Protection Program is still open. You guys can still get that. If the, one thing though, if you get the EIDL grant and if you apply for the Paycheck Protection Program as well, just know that the EIDL grant is subtractive from what you can be forgive. So if you, let's say you got $30,000 for your Paycheck Protection Program loan, and let's say you got $5,000 from your EIDL grant, you can't get $40,000 forgiven. You technically can only get forgiven on the $35,000 since you already got $5,000 from the SBA EIDL grant. So that's something to note, something to be mindful of. So who is eligible? There it is. COVID-19 EIDL. So businesses, it's actually 300 now, not 500. It was changed with the new COVID relief. So 300 employees or 300 employees or less. That's the number. Also, the things that were added into the qualification is that your business must be in a low-income community, and you must have suffered at least 30% loss in your revenue on any given 8-week period during the pandemic. So yes, it must be in a low-income community. That's something I updated you guys on last time, and it must your business must have suffered or lost 30% or more revenue on a given 8-week period. So those are the two requirements, and originally I thought it was either or. I thought it was either you are in a low-income community or you lost revenue. But I went back and read the text again, the COVID relief package, it is an and. It has to be both. So it has to be 300 employees or less, you must be in a low-income community, and you must have lost revenue of 30% or more on a given 8-week period. So there you have it, and of course you got the ineligible businesses, right? You can't be engaging in any kind of illegal activity, speculation, multi-sales, none of that is eligible. Oh, here's the information on decline. Let me see if I don't have anything else. Okay, so if you are declined, here it is. Within 6 months, receiving the decline letter, this is the address you need to send. Again, I'll put that down below again. You'll be able to follow that. And you can email them asking for a reconsideration within 6 months of being declined. Onto the next page. Okay. Let's see here. If you guys got the loan, here's where you make the payments. So if I receive the loan, how do I make the payments? That's the address. Or you go to pay.gov to get your account set up. And I imagine you're going to do some online payments there as well. Next page. Okay. Oh, here it is. So what if I need more money? So if you want an increase, so if you already have the EIDL loan or you applied for it recently and you want more because obviously businesses are suffering right now, here's the instructions on how to do it. It says if you were approved for the loan, request an increase of the amount, send an email that states your need for an increase to the loan amount, email address, with the word increase in the subject line. So I'm guessing they're filtering those emails out for a separate consideration. So there you have it. If you want to increase, if you want to get another EIDL loan, you can. In fact, I didn't know this, and I must admit, I didn't realize this was going on. You can apply for a second EIDL loan if your business needs it. If, let's say, your business was suffering because of COVID, but on a separate occasion, your business was suffering due to riots or civil unrest, there's a separate loan program just for that as well if you need those funding to recover. Moving on to the next page, page 6. Okay. There it is. Can I be reconsidered? We've gone through that. Now, this is a big question mark that even I have right now, and I'm doing some more research about this. Number 13 says, I have multiple businesses. Can I submit multiple COVID-19 EIDL application? Now, the answer says yes, right? Most people are like, oh, that's cool. But there's a stipulation, right? It says, however, at least 81% ownership needs to be accounted for on the application. So the question that I have immediately is, well, does that also mean for grant? Can I apply for multiple businesses and receive multiple grants? That's not very clear here. And same thing with the EIDL loan portion. The loan portion, it says at least 81% ownership needs to be accounted for. So does that mean that the businesses that have multiple owners, they just need to submit their information? Does that mean that I can only be 20% owner of 5 different businesses, making up 100% of ownership? So it's really unclear what the SBA means by it, and I'm still doing the research right now as to what this means. But the answer is yes, with some stipulation. So I imagine my conclusion after reading this is that let's say you own 5 businesses and you own 20% of the share on each business. That's how many applications you're allowed to do, which totals up to 100%, right? 20 times 5 equals 100. So I imagine that's what it means. I'm not 100% sure, but that's just my conclusion and just my speculation on that. Here's some reasons why you were declined. If you were declined for the EIDL loan or the grant, those are some of the reasons why you were declined. We talked about reconsideration of the loan, and that's essentially it. Yeah, there's a separate loan for civil unrest and property damage because of riots. Yeah, there it is. Physical damage loans and economic injury loan, which is the COVID loan. So, so guys, that's pretty much it for my notes on the tablet. Let me see if I missed anything for you guys as far as the latest update. I'm going back to my notes. Yeah, so those are pretty much everything. So January 17, 2021 is the day, and I'll release a video, guys, if you want the latest update, if you want a step-by-step tutorial on how to apply for the EIDL grant, I'll be more than happy to do that. Just stick around, subscribe, and I'll have a video giving you a tutorial on how to apply for the EIDL grant. It will be open on January 17. Not sure exactly what time. So as soon as it's released, I'll do a little community post, and I'll have a video out basically going through the step-by-step. So pretty much as a summary, can you apply for the EIDL loan twice? Yes, you can. You can get an increase. The question of can you apply for the EIDL grant twice? In theory, you can if you have not received anything from the first time or you didn't get up to $10,000. Maybe you did have all 10 employees, but you only got to, let's say $1,000. Well, you can still be eligible, could apply for an additional $9,000 from the EIDL grant program. So guys, hope this video was helpful. If it was, please share with your other business friends as well as entrepreneurs. Be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. We'll greatly appreciate it. We do this a lot to keep you guys updated. And we also have other updates such as housing market update and everything that concerns with making money. So subscribe to our channel and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.